Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to New Game Who Dis. My name is Troy Lavallee, and tonight we will be playing the conclusion to our first foray into a game called Something is Wrong Here, a role-playing game that's just a deck of cards inspired by the works of David Lynch. Now, for all of you watching this right now, you had to wait a week to see this second part. But we here at the table took a 5-10 minute break, and now we're jumping right back in because so much of this game is about creating a mood, capturing a mood, and staying in that mood. And so for us, I wanted to, as much as possible, hold on to that because the mood is so much of what this game is, as we saw last week. But once again, I am thrilled, overjoyed to be playing with this wonderful cast: Noura Ibrahim, Clare Grant, Amanuel, and Ross Bryant. If you haven't watched Wicked Empire, our D&D 5e show that we launched a couple months ago, I urge you to go back and watch it. It's 10 episodes long. They're all out. The whole first season is out. You can watch it on YouTube. You can download the podcast on your podcast app of choice. This cast is brilliant, and when I knew I wanted to play a new game like this that was going to require, buying in to something very, very strange and acting chops and improvisational chops, I was like, I want the whole cast, or I want none of them. So I'm so thankful that all of you were able to join us for this. Normally I do a lot of banter up top, but I really want to hold on to the feeling of this game so we can jump back in. Before we talk about your characters, I want to give you a chance to remind us who each of you are playing. Once again, Kira Magrann and the people at Something Is Wrong Here are giving away 3 more copies of this amazing game this week. Brennan will toss a link in the chat. He'll toss it in the chat throughout the stream. If you want to enter to win, go for it. And once again, if you don't win, please go buy a copy. It's I think it's $20 for this deck of cards, $12 for the PDF. But then you got to cut them all up yourself. Or you can be like me, I bought both. Very, very highly recommend buying this game, supporting game developers, especially indie game developers. That's the first bit of business. Second bit of business. This is going to be the last episode of Something Is Wrong Here. It's a little twofer, part 1 and part 2, which means next week we're going to be playing a new game. And in fact, it is going to be the last New Game Who Dis of the year before New Game Who Dis evolves into something even greater in 2022. And so it is without further ado that I announce the game and cast for next week's show. We will be playing The One Ring. That's right. Lord of the Rings role-playing, run by our own Lord of the Rings nerd, Skidmar. And the cast is Joe O'Brien, Grant Berger, Alicia Marie, and Kate Stammes. That is going to be 4 episodes of a show you do not want to miss. I considered having Skid both run and play all 4 characters himself, but I thought against it. I said, you know what? How about a little variety? We'll add lessen his load. Please check that out. That is very, very exciting. I really wanted to be on it, but just can't. So I'm excited to sit back and watch that one. Let's talk about Something Is Wrong Here. There's going to be time at the end of the session where I want to discuss our impressions of the game. I actually there's some after check-ins with everybody that I want to go through because I think it'll be as interesting as the show itself. So let's just jump back in by talking, reintroducing ourselves to your characters. Noura, what is you had like an archetype, and then of course you named your character as well. Tell us a little bit about your character.
I play a character named Parker, and she is an eccentric socializer. She is very much has old Hollywood blonde bombshell vibes, and just wants to be loved.
Don't we all? Yeah, each of the characters has a need that they need to fulfill, and each of the characters has chosen another character to fulfill that need. And so as we round out Act 1 at the top of today's session and get into Act 2, we'll see if those needs are met or not met. Claire, tell us about your character.
My character is the analytical pessimist. Her name is Missy May, and she just really needs to connect with someone and feel like she's just not the only one of her kind out there.
Yeah. Veteran, too, right?
Veteran. Yes, she is a veteran.
Veteran.
Yes.
Yes, there is a darkness there. There's a darkness in all of you. In fact, it's on your character card. What about Gem? Tell us about Gem, Sydney.
Yeah, Gem, their character archetype is the jaded creative. And Gem is trying to produce this new work of art that they've been working at for over a year and can't, and it's basically destroying them from the inside.
And last of all, Danny Tate.
Yeah, the archetype on him was sensitive observer. And he is that, a sensitive, soft touch lover of mid-century aesthetics who is trying to like reach out emotionally to everyone in the little community, but especially so to the prickly and analytical Missy May, because he has he's carrying a lot of guilt because of the mysterious death of his brother that he blames himself for.
And so last week we were introduced to these characters in various scenes. There was a scene in a waiting room. What the waiting room is for is unclear. There was a scene in a trailer park featuring some drunken absurdity in the afternoon, a little day drinking. There was a scene at a mansion, some sort of party, perhaps, of elite Hollywood types. There was a scene in a diner where we dug deeper in sort of the mental states of a couple of the characters, and then there was a car accident. There was a scene in a roadhouse listening to one of your bands and some little flirtatiousness that led to perhaps a night spent together between two of the characters. And then in between every few chunks of scenes, each of you looked into the mirror and let us know what you saw, what your character truly saw in this mirror, which is one of the two props you have today. A mirror in which you know there is something on the other side of it. There is another world behind that mirror, and it is dark. And you have a lot of fear sort of wrapped up in what is on the other side of that mirror. You feel like something is coming to get you from the other side. And then each of you also have a box. And once again, you're not sure what's in the box, but you're sure it's something terrible, even though you don't know what it is. After each scene, we reward a box card to one person in the scene that gives them something to carry into the next scene. In that roadhouse scene that we ended on last week, it was with Missy May and Danny and Gem. And off the air, we decided that Gem was going to get the card. Grant, go ahead and show us that card, which was card 8, box 8. I like that only the person who picked the card and you, the audience, get to see what Gem now needs to carry in to the next scene. And let's talk about that next scene, because now we are going to open up on a car, the interior of a car. And we'll say the scenario is the car is broken down. Perfect. So this is a broken down car on the side of the road. Which characters would like to be in this scene?
I will.
Okay. Parker? Was that Parker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One other person or two?
Gem will be in it.
like it. We haven't seen these two together since the waiting room. So slowly.
Oh no, we haven't had one at all together.
haven't had one at all. Been together.
That was that's right. That was Parker and
Right.
Missy May. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So lights come up on the tail lights of a car on, pulled haphazardly to the side of the road. It's raining out. You hear the rain hitting the top of the car. And we move from the tail lights up to the rear mirror, through the rear mirror, and into the car, where Parker and Gem sit. Who's in the driver's seat?
I'll be in the driver's seat.
Okay. Gem, are you in the passenger seat or the back seat?
Passenger.
Do you think the radio still works?
An emotion. I'm sorry, I forgot about the emotion. This will help you. You can either be a confession or a bad feeling about someone you love. A confession or a bad feeling about someone you love.
I kind of like confession. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I do too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just feels like, oh, this is a confession scene. Okay, go ahead.
Do you think the radio still works? And she'll fidget with the knobs of the radio.
From static, you'll eventually get like the makings of a country song, and static comes over it.
This is I'm not good at cars. I don't know anything about cars.
Yeah, I wish I paid attention in middle school shop class. Let me think.
Well, I think we can go get some help, but maybe we want to wait till the rain stops.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Sorry, I feel like it's my fault. I feel like I asked you and you. Sorry, I'm just so tired and I just wanted to get home so I could sleep. And it's like, one more thing. You ever have a day like that where it's like, literally when it rains, it pours, it's like that. And now it's pouring rain. So
Sometimes. Why are you not able to sleep?
I just have bad thoughts, sometimes at night. It's like the mind won't shut up, and it's like when you're so tired that you feel like you've let your guard down, and then your brain just attacks you in all the ways it knows it can't during the day when you're awake, and distracting it, with all the other shit you have going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm unloading on you.
No, it's okay. It's kind of nice that we get to talk. Sometimes I feel like you talk to people, but you're not really in it, and you want them to listen on your every word, but something's just off. Anyway, it's like I can hear you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I feel like a lot of time, I talk and nobody understands me, or what do you mean that you feel like you're not understood by people, or like the other way around?
I don't know, it's like, you ever just sit there and listen to the rain? And Parker just kind of leans her head against the driver's side window and looks out. You ever just sit there and listen to the rain, and it's something about it is so hypnotic? And all this time can pass, and you just kind of snap to at some point. And you're not quite sure what's gone on in that passing time. And all of a sudden, something that was so soothing and hypnotic can all of a sudden terrify you.
Yeah. Gem flips down the visor and flips open the mirror to pull her hair back into a ponytail. And she looks up. Fuck! And slams the visor back up.
What?
What was that? Did you see that?
No, what was what?
Oh, nothing. Sorry. I saw my own. I saw the double reflection in the rear window. I thought I thought I saw somebody. It looked like they were gonna climb into the car or something. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I screamed. You looked very peaceful.
No, you
Can I
just
take your picture? Actually, is that weird? You looked very beautiful. I mean, I'm not trying to come on to you. You just looked picturesque. I want to paint you. Could I just?
Of course.
Okay.
Do you want to pose, or do you want
No, please don't pose. Just you could even close your eyes, like you were sleeping on the window, or like you were dead, or like you were sleeping, not like you were dead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
no one's ever really taken my picture before.
Are you joking?
I remember being at a party once, and I was little, and my mom was in the middle of the room, and just everybody paying attention to her, and she had her martini in her hand and twirling around, and her skirt was coming up a little, and all the guys were looking at her, and I wasn't supposed to be awake, but I would peek in, and nobody would ever pay attention to me, so I could just come and go as I please. But then sometimes you see some things you can't unsee.
Like what?
Oh, is it still raining? Do you think we could, what are you working on?
Oh, it's like a omnibus type of portrait series. It's not done. It's not actually started yet. I'm still collecting some reference photos to work off of, but I'm gonna get there once I get the photos in order. I just have to. I just have to get the right photos, and then, yeah.
You'll get him. What's your muse? What makes you tick?
You know, before, it used to be, it used to be a very close friend of mine in college. But recently it's changed, and now it's more of public incidents or things on the news.
Oh. That sounds really different.
Yeah, I'm going in a different direction, I think.
Most people, you know, whenever I look at paintings, I think of old, like, you know, barn houses and landscapes and such.
I love looking at landscapes, but I can't paint them. I can't get them right. So I've tried. So
is that what you want to paint?
No, it makes me furious to paint landscapes. I hate them. But I would like to paint you if you give me permission to use the photo that I took.
Yeah, of course. Or, you know, maybe I could like sit there for you.
Maybe, yeah.
Sometime?
Maybe. Sure, maybe. I don't have a studio. I work out of my house, but I could
That's
maybe.
Okay.
It's kind of far out of town.
Oh.
But maybe I could have you over and sure, I could have you sit.
Yeah, that'd be really great. I'd like that. You seem, like you seem really focused on your art.
And Gem is watching this one streak of water connect to other streaks of water as the rain is like lightning and making its way across the windshield, making it look like a huge crack. And in it, she sees her reflection again. And she just pictures it like shattering inward and destroying her face until it is like nothing but just meat being ripped outward. Yeah, I'm very focused sometimes.
I was never really any good at drawing or painting. I tried, you know, when I was little, but sometimes I think that because we're so imperfect that we try to create things, we try to make things, we try to be things that are perfect, and because we're not, we're almost like we're doomed to never achieve that. But I've never had any talent in that anyway.
Well, a lot of times it doesn't matter how much talent you have in anything that you do. Sometimes you never get noticed or nobody appreciates you. So it's the whole idea that it's got to come from within. I think that's the harder part, is the...
Yeah. I guess, yeah, there's truth to that.
That moment, the car just, the engine turns over and the car turns back on, and the radio starts playing Roy Orbison's I Drove All Night. As the car comes on, it is able to get a better signal, perhaps. And I drove all night to get to you. And we just close in on the old AM/FM dial that you could turn as we hear Roy Orbison's voice. We fade out of that scene. And the song continues, and we hear it, but it starts to sound really tinny and distant and far and distorted and slowed down. And then we come up on a forest. And the scenario is sharing a secret. Who would like to be in this scene? Parker and Danny. Just two. Option for a third. All right. We've got one. So Missy May, Danny, and Parker. Between Parker and Gem, who would like the card from the box for that
I think
previous
Gem
scene?
should take it.
Okay, Gem. That was a confession, so that'll be slide 9, Grant. And Gem, you now have a new box card. Your emotions that you have available to you are a bad feeling about someone you love, or like you're living in the perfect world full of happiness. Bad feeling about someone you love, or like you're living in the perfect world full of happiness. It's in a forest, and the scenario is sharing a secret.
It's a forest. We gotta go with bad feeling. Come on.
Yeah. The way things are going.
Bad feeling about someone you love in a forest, sharing a secret. Missy May, Parker, and Danny Tate. We see the three of them just standing in a clearing. There's no sign of the car that brought them there, or any houses. Moonlight just casting long rays through the mostly barren tree limbs. What do you do?
Once we cross past the blaze on that tree, we're in Forest Service land. And technically trespassing. So if any of you have a problem with breaking the law, now would be the time to turn back.
We're only breaking the law if we get caught.
We're not going to get caught.
Ladies, I like the way you think.
And you see Parker take off her heels and holds them in her hand and continues barefoot.
And Danny has turns off his flashlight. You know, the moon's so bright tonight. You barely need it. Cave's right up there. You gotta go down into the creek bed. Until you hear the waterfall. I mean, they call it a waterfall. Just a little trickle. And then you go up the hill. And that's where it is.
Have you been there before?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there before.
All right.
I never thought I'd be going with you.
Hey, I appreciate the emotional support.
I told you this was crazy, but I get it.
sometimes you got to do something a little crazy to prove to yourself that you're not really crazy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been up there before.
But not since you were a kid.
No, I went back.
What were you hoping to find?
Anything. They held me for 2 days in juvenile detention after they found him. Since I was the last one to see him alive, I was technically a suspect. How do you like that for a look on old Danny? Teenage jailbird.
That must have been so terrifying for you.
Yeah. So I went back. Ma and Pa, they couldn't much look me in the eye after.
They didn't believe you?
A lot of folks around here didn't believe me. But I went back there. The cops had done their work, but I could still see dry blood on the rock of the cave. And right there where we saw it, we went up there because we'd heard. You've been to City Hall. The old historical dioramas say that there's old Native American pictographs all through these woods. And we figured we'd find some there. And it was still on the wall. The one that we saw, the sun. But I went back. And it had changed. And I told you, all right? I know it sounds like I've gone positively crackers. But I'm telling you, when me and Shauna went there was just a sun. When I came back, there was something underneath the sun. It was some sort of... I think it was an old woman. Drawn beneath the sun. And she was wearing the skin of an animal. And it looked like it was as old as everything else. Thousands of years old. So I gotta go in there and see if it... I just want to see what's on that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we'll see what's on that wall.
Do you hear it? There's the trickle of that water. We're getting real close now.
When we saw that wolf in the car, in front of the car, Danny, I kind of had, you ever see something and just like a whole bunch of feelings come up and then you like, well, when I was little, nobody ever blamed me for this, but it was one of my mom's boyfriends was over one night, and they were both really drunk and screaming at each other, and I mean really bad, and I was hiding. And after a while things got real quiet. And I heard the door just slowly creak open and shut. And then just footsteps. And it was like even though I was hiding, he knew where I was. And his legs just stop from where I'm hiding under the chair. And then his head just peeps over. Just puts his fingers to his lips and walks out. And I was real scared. I didn't want to go in and check on my mom, and I waited. And I waited. I waited. For days. And then the smell was there. And finally I went and opened the door. I see my mom laying on the ground. But like I kind of knew that was going to be there. And I look over. And there's like flies everywhere. But next to her was like this puddle of mangy fur and blood and teeth. And it was like when we were by that car in the diner. It's like I was right back there. And I didn't know what it was or how it got there. And it made me real scared. And so whatever it is you're looking for, just be careful.
Hey, don't worry. We got someone here with us who's who I think is really capable in a tight spot.
Yeah.
And hey, don't forget. We got this. It's and he holds up the quarter from the diner. Slips into his pocket.
Missy May looks over to Parker and puts her hand down on her shoulder and like really tries to make meaningful eye contact and just say, "There's nothing that you could have done for your mother. And I hope that you're not holding on to that." And then...
You know what the worst part is, though? I felt nothing for her. And I think that's what bothers me.
That's okay, too.
Nothing. Hey, so everybody reacts to strange situations in different ways.
So the three of you, comforting Parker, edge closer to the area where this cave is. And now you see it, just up on the ledge. And the three of you walk towards it. What would be the order here? It's kind of a thin ledge to get up. Who's in front?
I'd kind of want to be behind Missy May.
I think even even Danny wants to be, but it's like, now's normally the time that I would say ladies first, but perhaps in this situation.
And then Missy May just reaches out to him, and she's like, "It's okay. You can just tell me where to go." And then she reaches down and she pulls out a gun that she had hidden, in the belt of her pants. And she turns the safety off, and she puts her hand out and looks back at both of them, and she's like, we can do this, and then just says, "Okay, just walk down this ledge right here."
Yeah.
And so you walk, and now we just see Missy's perspective, slowly approaching this cave. It's probably about 30 feet away, and the opening is obscured from your view to the left. So we're just slowly moving closer, and we see etchings just outside, similar to what Danny was talking about. Slowly moving forward, very deliberately. And just as you get to the opening of the cave, a small human figure walks out, and we go into darkness. And then lights come up on a living room. A nice living room. And the scenario is sharing your love of a local delicacy. Who would like to be in this scene? Gem?
Can I volunteer Danny, because I feel like you...
Sure. Happy to.
Just because I want to see it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Do we...
Danny, yes, cards. Who among Missy May, Parker, and Danny would like the box card from that previous scene?
I feel like that was Danny's scene. Danny needs that box card.
I'll take it if that's how it goes.
A bad feeling about something you love, that'll be slide 10, Grant. And Danny, let me see what this one is. Oh, yeah. That'll do.
Box
now it's
10, okay.
A living room, sharing your love of a local delicacy with Danny and Gem. Which emotion would you like? Like you're living in the perfect world full of happiness, or a despair?
Oh, so the opposites.
Like talking about delicacies.
I know, it makes me want to choose happiness, but I think, Gem is in despair, but maybe we're living in happiness right now.
Who knows where or when this scene is taking place?
It's non-linear. So
Damn good coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Damn good coffee.
Yeah, let's do happiness.
Yeah, let's do happiness.
Like you're living in the perfect world full of happiness. It's nice juxtaposition from the previous scene. Although, let's see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
You're in this living room. We saw them once in a trailer park. Now they're in a pretty nice living room. Mm-hmm. Sharing your love of a local delicacy. Like you're living in the perfect world full of happiness. Perhaps Gem is lounging on this couch. Much nicer than the steps of the trailer park that we saw them on previously. And Danny enters.
Yeah. Danny comes in and sets a plate with a little tureen topper down on the coffee table and sits very stiffly in a high-backed chair in this living room. It's just looking at you. Yeah,
What is it?
Well, today's your lucky day, is what?
Why is it? Is it my birthday?
If it's
You
not...
don't know my birthday, Danny.
Guilty as charged. But if by random happenstance today is your birthday, then this would be a worthwhile way to celebrate. And he like leans forward and like takes the top of the tureen off and sets it aside. And there is like and it it's a damn pie. And it's not fruit based. It's a custard pie. It's like tell me this, Gem. Are you familiar with the chess pie? The chess pie is a custard pie with a sugary base. Some enjoy a meringue top, but I myself enjoy a au naturel finish, or maybe a slight breadcrumb. What is before you happens to be a lemon chess pie, one of my particular favorites. I've always associated citrus with the zest for life and a sunshiny attitude. Why don't you have yourself a slice?
What did you say?
Why don't you have yourself a slice?
Come again?
And, Danny stands up, walks slowly across the room. There's like a little radio, like leans into it. It's like, nope, still nothing. Turns around and it's like, well, I suppose I've not only got to play chef, but garçon as well. And he walks over and carves a slice out of the pie, like sets it down on a little paper towel. It's like hands it over. Sometimes I feel like I'm not here, Gem.
What?
You understand? This room is different. As sweet as this is, we're not here. I've always enjoyed wallpaper with a pattern. And he sits down in the chair again very stiffly and looks at you.
We're missing forks. And Gem walks over and reaches into any cabinet in the room, and it is full of forks, opens it, spilling forks. Mm-hmm. And they scoop up a bunch and put them back on the couch, on the chaise, and sits down. How many do you need, Danny? I can count them out for you if you'd like.
None necessary for me, thank you. These pickers and stealers are more than enough for what I have in mind for this beauty. And he carves a slice out of the pie and picks it up without anything underneath and is like, watch for crumbs. Wouldn't want to smudge that ornate Baroque rug.
What'd you say?
Wouldn't want to smudge that Baroque rug. Mmm. Mmm.
Mmm.
Ah.
Mmm. Mmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've been transported to a Florida lemon grove.
It's like the inside of the sun. It's like...
He stands up. He walks across the room. Nope, still nothing.
What'd you say?
This radio's not here. I'm looking for my phonograph. Another slice? He walks across the room and sits down in the chair.
Danny, there was something important that I had to tell you, and I couldn't tell you before. I couldn't... There's something important that I have to tell you, and I couldn't tell you before.
Have out with it, Gem. Let's have a little bitter with our sweet.
Come again?
Let's have a little bitter with our sweet. And you're like,
No, I'm not allowed.
pardon my French, but fuck. God.
Danny, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I can't have any of the pie.
What's wrong, Gem? You've barely touched your lemon chess pie.
What did you call me?
You're not sitting there.
I have to go. I'm not supposed to be here. It's...
Gem, you have to go. Because you're not here right now.
Danny, I have to tell you something, but I can't.
Let's have a little bitter with our sweet. And Danny's just eating this whole pie.
And as Danny's eating and Gem's watching, we're going to fade out of that scene.
Wow.
And we will come back up on the waiting room. Again. And the scenario will be... arguing over something really stupid. Same waiting room. Arguing over something really stupid. And when we see this waiting room, we notice that something seems to be different. Like one thing is out of place from what it was before. Maybe there's an extra chair now. Maybe there's a painting on the wall. There was a painting on the wall before, but now, is that the same painting? You can't quite put your finger on it. Give a box card to either Gem or Danny.
I had the last one. You should.
I'll take it. That scene was so much fun.
Yeah.
Gem, you're stocking up on box cards here. All right, so this is going to be like you're living in the perfect world of happiness. That's going to be slide 11, Grant. This last emotion, we'll just jump right to a genuine closeness as the last scene of Act 1 here. Once again, this is in a waiting room, arguing over something really stupid, but we'll wrap it up with the final emotion, a genuine closeness. Who would like to be in this scene?
Parker would.
Parker? Missy May?
Missy May.
Danny, if you want to get in there, don't be shy.
I mean,
You're in.
like a. Okay.
I thought you said I'm in.
I didn't, but I'll take that. I'll be there. Sure.
It was meant to be. Danny, Parker, Missy. Arguing over something really stupid. A genuine closeness. All three of you are sitting there. Are two of you sitting next to each other and one of you a space over? Are you all three sitting next to each other? What's the setup?
Did you say that there was the painting of Danny in this room, or was
No, there was a painting on the wall behind you, but as you're sitting there, you can't remember. You feel like the painting's different, but you can't put your finger on
it. Should we all be sitting together?
Yeah.
I'll sit across.
Okay.
Yeah. Jenny would want to be sitting next to Missy May.
Yes, they've shared an experience. Or have they yet? We don't know. Go ahead.
How much longer are we going to be in here?
Nobody told us anything. They just made us sit in these chairs and told us to wait.
They don't even provide any reading material.
No. There's just this one bland painting.
Wait,
It feels wrong.
did we leave? Are we waiting to go in or waiting to get out?
Well, that's ridiculous. You wait to go in, not to go out.
No. We've been waiting here. I can't even tell how long. Don't you want to get out? Aren't you waiting to get out?
Well, that's the point of a waiting room. You wait to get in. If you wanted to get out, you just go.
You're not going in anywhere. We're in this room. We're waiting to get out.
Right. I mean, if by getting out, you mean going in there. I mean, every waiting room is a way to get out of that room.
Sometimes waiting rooms are waiting for before you can leave a room, you know? Like you have to wait for someone to bring your car keys or someone to bring your jacket or someone to bring test results or...
Are you waiting for test results?
Are you waiting for test results?
I don't know what I'm waiting for.
Missy May, is everything okay? Because gosh, if anything happened to you, I don't know what I'd do.
Did we leave? And as Parker stands up and just slowly makes her way around the room as this conversation's happening, just in her own head. Did we leave?
I mean, when I stocked the waiting room at the county clerk's office, I at least put some highlights in there for the kids.
This wasn't the way it was.
I mean, we have to be waiting to go in.
We're waiting to get out. We can't get out. We can't get out. We can't get out. We can't get out.
Hold on, Parker. Maybe we just haven't tried all the doors.
This painting's different.
Do you remember what it was last time?
I thought it was... I don't know.
It's so confining.
The painting.
I mean, we're obviously waiting to go in. You don't wait to go out.
We're waiting to go out. She traces her finger along the edge of the painting.
Missy May stands up and tries to see if she can open the door.
Missy May walks over to the door, goes to turn the handle, and where it gave before an allowed entrance, it's locked now. And cold, ice cold to the touch.
We're trapped in here. They've locked us in here.
Did we come in the same way we are supposed to go out?
It's ridiculous. There must be a terribly important meeting taking place beyond that door that can brook no interruptions.
Why would they lock us in?
And Danny gets up and walks over to the door and places his ear against it.
You place your ear against it and you hear the faint sounds of typing.
Anything?
Somebody must be writing the great American novel in there.
So someone's there. Someone can let us out. And Chip Parker will start pounding on the door.
Start pounding on the door. And eventually the door opens. Kind of pushes you back a little bit as it does so. And that same man from before with a clipboard leans out and says, Daniel?
Yes?
Right this way.
Wait,
How?
where
How
are you
long-
taking him?
You're Daniel, right?
Yes, sir.
You're up. Don't worry. Your turn's coming.
And he turns around and Missy May, he takes your hand. He's like, don't worry. I'll wait for you. And there's something being pressed into your palm as he walks into the door.
And Danny
And it's
walks
a quarter.
in, yeah. Danny walks in with the man and leaves a quarter with Missy May.
Missy May clutches the quarter in her hand and looks wistfully at the door. Where are they taking him?
I don't know. I don't know.
And we fade out. Once again, look into your mirror. Parker, what do you see?
I see myself in this beautiful, beautiful gown. And I'm holding this award and there's a spotlight on me. And I'm smiling and everybody's clapping for me and I feel like I'm not invisible anymore. And I twirl and I'm, for the first time in my life, I feel really happy. Really loved. And I twirl and I open my eyes. And I see it's not me anymore. It's my mother with the martini glass in her hand, and she's twirling and twirling. And then I see it and hear it. The flies buzzing. Everything gets dark. And I see it's not her face anymore. There's mange and fur and blood and teeth where her face was. And I close my eyes, but I can't. I still see it.
Gem, what do you see?
supposed to be me. It's what it wants me to think that it's me, but it's not. It's like I'm wearing my own skin, but it doesn't fit right now, and it's sagging in places, and it's too tight in places, and it's wrong, and it wants everybody to think that it's me, and it wants to trick them, but it's not me. And I can't see out of the eye holes, and they're not lining up, but it's not me.
Danny, what do you see?
It's a dark, earthen, enclosed space. There's a moist, wet lapping, as if the lapping of a water on the inside of a pool. And as it gets louder, you tell that it's greedy, messy, open-mouthed chewing and slurping. And I realize that I'm looking at myself from behind, greedily eating a pie on the floor of this cave. And I turn around and look at myself, and it's not pie. My hands and face are covered in blood and chunks of flesh. I can see my brother's half-devoured face on the floor of the cave. As my bloody face turns to look at me smiling and says, "Let's have a little bitter with that sweet."
Missy May, what do you see?
I see myself in a small boat out in the middle of the ocean or the sea or something so great that you look out, and as far as you can see, it's just water and darkness, except for the reflection of the moon on the water, and there's a hole in the boat, and I just start sinking, and I'm in the water, and the boat is no longer gone, and I'm almost so far in the water that I barely see the moon through the ocean, except for like the bubbles of reflection from the oxygen under the water, just the last little bit of light. And then right as I'm ready to close my eyes, I see a hand just like plunge into the water and disrupt all of the bubbles and just reach for me.
And we go dark. And if we were watching a film, a new title would come on screen. It says Act 2, Doppelganger. And from there, it will slowly fade to another card that says the goodbye. For Act 2, things are going to play out a little bit differently. To start, each of you must choose one other character to have one last scene with, for a total of 4 scenes. And I should say these are quick scenes. They recommend about 2 minutes. So keep that in mind. And in fact, I'm going to use our Skype chat as like a cue to wrap it up, just so you know, not that I don't want you to go on forever, but to know that it's time sensitive, these goodbye scenes. You don't have much time. There are no emotions or scenarios to change here, but the feeling all of you have as we go into these scenes is that you all feel that something is coming. You're not sure what it is, but you have a very strong feeling that the person you're about to have this scene with, you're not going to see again. Grant, feel free to kick in those songs. Who would like to start? 4 short goodbye scenes. Say who you want to say goodbye to, and then we'll play out the scene.
Gem can start. They want to say goodbye to Danny.
Okay.
Danny, I had a dream about you the other day. Did I tell you about it?
No fooling.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it was about, but I have a feeling like I might skip town, or you might not see me for a little while, but I wanted to tell you that I only wanted to paint you because I wanted you to tell me more about your brother. And I know it sounds fucked up. It is fucked up, but I just wanted to say thank you for actually being a friend, because it meant more to me than I thought it would, than I thought what I needed from you. So thanks for hanging out with me and letting me take pictures of you and being stupid and stuff. And I'm sorry about your brother.
Well, thank you. I mean, for what it's worth, I've had a good old time just shooting the breeze with you. Hey, don't forget us out here when you get big, showing your work around the world. And as for my brother, don't worry. I have a feeling he's in a better place. "23 skidoo, kiddo."
We hear 23 skidoo as the lights go out. Who's next?
I think Parker would want to say goodbye to Gem. I just want to say thank you. I know it sounds really stupid, but I feel like you can see me, and I'm like not saying that in a stupid way. Like, I feel like you can see who I am, and that's what makes you a great artist. And I know you're gonna be big, and I know you get frustrated, but don't ever stop, because you have a way of seeing everything about a person that makes him them. The good and the bad, and for the first time I didn't have to sit there and put a smile on my face and stand up straight and say pleasant things and do all this stupid shit that they tell you to do in these etiquette books that they still make you balance on your head for some stupid reason. Thank you,
Parker. Everybody looks at you and they're blown away. You don't have to do anything. You're beautiful and you're funny and you're kind. You gave me that ride. I mean, put yourself out there for everybody, and you don't have to do it. But you do it anyway. Oh, and also it's not, don't look at it now. Look at it a little later.
I can't open it? All right.
Can't open it, please. Dear God, no.
Okay.
She slips you a little, like, almost crumpled up piece of paper.
You'll be great out there. And I'll miss you.
I'll see you. You're going to come to a gallery opening or something, I'm sure, wearing a fancy ball gown or something.
Yeah.
They smile and nod at each other as the lights go out. Who do they come up on next?
Danny wants to say goodbye to Missy May. At the bar, stubbing out his cigarette in an ashtray, killing the new Glarus. You know, I thought someone with your past might be able to have some perspective about guilt. But I think I know that I run on at the mouth. Maybe I need people to tell me things that It's not fair to make other people fill the holes in yourself that you made. Maybe we could be a little bit more articulate like this. And he drops a quarter in the jukebox, and Arthur Alexander's Before You Go comes on. And he just, like, awkwardly, spasmodically shimmies out on the floor, like, come on, you know you wanna.
Missy May takes a deep breath and grabs the beer and takes a big swig and sets it down, and, you know, outwardly begrudgingly, but inwardly wanting to do this weird dance. She comes up and she says to Danny, and she says, you know, your past doesn't leave you with holes you need to fill. Your past is what makes you who you are. And you don't need to just try to erase the things that you've done just for the sake of guilt.
You just kind of like, no, just dances closer. They just bop along.
Just bopping along.
We just see them dance together, have this moment, and we fade out. And then we fade back up on Missy May. Who is Missy May saying goodbye to?
Missy May wants to say goodbye to Noura.
Okay.
Or Noura. Missy May wants to say goodbye to Parker. Where are we?
Wherever you want to be.
I think
Are we in the waiting room?
I think we're back in the waiting room. We're back in the waiting room. And she's sitting across from Parker, and she says, I'm really glad that we met, and I just need you to know that you've seemed like you've had like a really hard time with people and people not being good to you, and how that affects you, and how you how you just need for someone to treat you the way that you know you need to be treated, and I just wanted to tell you that you deserve that, and you deserve more. And it's crazy to me that you think that people don't see you, because you are the most unmissable, unforgettable person I've met in a very long time. And I hope you move forward with a sense of peace.
Thank you. And Parker will, we're both sitting side by side in the chairs, and Parker will take Missy's hand and just like give it a good squeeze and hold on to it. You know, this is stupid, but if I had to be stuck here, I'm glad it's with you.
Yeah. Me too.
You're a good friend.
You're a good friend too.
And we lift up from there and just focus on the painting on the wall, which again looks slightly different. Somehow similar to that pastoral we saw in the mansion. Somehow reminiscent of the first painting, the first time we saw the waiting room when we weren't really paying attention, but also something completely different. It looks like there's a cave in the forest and a bunch of people walking towards that cave. And we just move in closer and closer to that image. So close that we can see the paint strokes on the painting itself, but still that ever-present darkness within the cave. And we're approaching it now from the same angle that Missy and Parker and Danny were approaching as they walked up the ledge and saw the painting on the wall. And that same sound that we heard earlier comes back, that and we become absorbed in the darkness. For one last time, everyone look into the mirror. As you look, really look. Because now when you look, you can't quite put your finger on it. But something is different. What is it? Maybe it seems small at first. Maybe you're just fixated on your eyes and how they're made of flesh. Flesh that maybe isn't yours. What is yours? What is your body? As you look, you can't help but wonder, are you dreaming right now? Are your eyes open? Who is looking back at you? Who are you? As you're looking, you blink as if to shake yourself out of this and look around, away from the mirror, and find yourself in a dark room covered in flowery wallpaper. And someone is in the room with you. You turn and see that the mirror is gone. And before you is yourself, grinning wickedly. To round out our story, now each of you will have a final scene with your doppelgangers, evil versions of yourselves. And your doppelgangers will be played by the characters that you chose to meet your need. But how they manifest is determined by the characters that you have chosen. So, Sydney, since you chose the jaded creative to meet your need, or since you chose, Danny,
I chose jaded.
Danny to meet your need, Danny will play your doppelganger. But what Danny is determined by the fact that you chose the jaded creative. So right now I'm going to reveal to each of you in your handouts what you will be playing as a doppelganger. And then we're going to play out these final scenes. And in the scenes where you are playing a doppelganger, what it says on the card are your only instructions. Only you, the player, and the audience will get to see what it says on these cards. During these scenes, any of you can play any of the cards you received from the box throughout the scenario. And these scenes end when they end. But keep in mind, this is your last chance to either meet your need or fail in doing so. So, Danny. Who was fulfilling Danny's need? Missy May. Okay, so Missy May, I'm going to reveal to you the doppelganger you will be playing. And then Gem. Who was fulfilling Jen's name? Danny. Danny, I will reveal to you. Grant, that first one would be D. I can't remember what slide it is, but you'll see it. And then this next one will be G, that I will be revealing to Danny. And then P. Who is P? Parker.
Me.
Who's fulfilling Parker's need? Gem. So Gem, I will reveal to you your doppelganger. And finally, who am I missing? Missy May? Missy May, who's meeting your need? Missy May's need
I
is
think
being
that's me.
fulfilled by Parker. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Parker, this is your doppelganger. Everyone now should have one card, correct?
Yep.
Okay. It's a lot to take in there. But as you get lost in the mirror and the mirror disappears, you find yourself standing before yourself. Who would like to begin? Not the doppelganger, but the player confronting their doppelganger. Tough one.
This is terrifying.
This is terrifying. Yeah. Maybe your needs have already been met, and maybe they'll be taken away from you. Or maybe this is your last chance to meet those needs.
Is it weird? I feel like my needs were met by another player.
That's not weird at all. We make the rules. But that may mean that there's something unresolved there.
Yeah.
That could come up here. Tough one.
I can volunteer if everybody.
Oh
Jen.
God, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Jen.
Okay, I could go. I'm not scared.
Let's add an extra wrinkle to this. Now remember, you can use all of your cards that you received. You don't have to use any of them, but if you're like, I need some inspiration, you can look to those cards. Gem's need will be fulfilled by Danny. So Danny, you are playing the doppelganger.
Okay.
If I direct you to, we move from the goodbye to this final vignette, series of vignettes known as the confrontation. And now you, Danny, choose the setting out of the following: a stage, a bedroom, a dark forest, the side of the road, an industrial wasteland, a shack, a room that looks like a movie set, or a dark room with a single spotlight.
And forgive me, this is Danny choosing the landscape or the doppelganger choosing the landscape? Great.
Oh, that's interesting. It's the doppelganger.
So this is me choosing the landscape in which the doppelganger speaks to...
Confronts.
Confronts Gem.
Yes.
Great.
Wait.
Evil Gem.
I am Evil Gem. It is, it's the side of the road.
Okay.
And in fact, it's a broken down car in a rainstorm.
Great. Imagine a road like this, almost like a desert road, and a car just sitting on the side. Throughout these scenes, we'll be playing some electric buzzing sounds that are recommended by the game. It'll sound like there's an audio issue. There is not. It all adds to the unsettling feeling. You may begin.
And you see your own face through the rain in the back mirror, in the back window. It just phases into the back seat, snapping in and out of existence. Just like, you really think you're at the wheel? No one's at the wheel.
You don't talk to me. You don't even look like me. You're not me. You look like a sad excuse.
You're not you. Gem. And that's when the rain turns to paint and is running down the sides of the car. It's like, take a look at it, Gem. Your masterpiece.
I haven't started it yet. Why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna finish it. I have to take my time. It doesn't just happen. It's not supposed to just happen.
It's not supposed to just happen. You're so right. You'll get to it tomorrow. You'll finish it then. Just like you did yesterday and the day before.
I don't want to be here.
You're not even at the wheel, Gem. And you're in the passenger seat. You're not even at the wheel.
I don't want to be here. I want to be in the room. The room, the nice room. I want to have cake. I want to have pie.
Why do you insist on making paintings a fake reality when you can't even see? And the light of the sun pours out of your doppelganger's eyes like, you should just stare into the sun. Bright enough for ya? And it's like headlights, blinding light. No one's at the wheel, Gem. And you feel the car boom, move forward. No one's at the wheel.
I'm at the wheel. I'm at the wheel. I'm driving. You're not driving. I'm driving.
No one's at the wheel! Boom! And the car, gang, slams on its back, scraping and sparks flying. And you can hear the yelp of a canine voice, like, as it's ripped under the chassis of this car as it crashes and wrecks, and as rain swirls around, and the neon of a diner is refracted crazily in the window. And this face that you're looking at is pulverized against the wheel of the car.
No one's even at the wheel, Gem.
What did you just say?
You're not at the wheel.
And Gem lolls her head over to the side of the broken window, the passenger side window, and crawls out of the car, crawling past it toward the wolf that's in the road, just like army crawling. And when she gets to it, she takes her hands and plunges them into the sternum of the chest of the wolf and rips it open and crawls inside and closes the skin over her head, feeling the hot blood all around her body. And they grit their teeth and they say over and over again, I'm at the wheel. I'm in control. I am at the wheel. I am in control.
And we leave that scene. And we come up on another. Who is ready to confront themselves?
I'll go.
Parker, your need was to be fulfilled by Gem. So Gem, as the doppelganger, you choose the setting.
It's going to be a dark room with a single spotlight.
Perfect. Once again, we hear that humming come in as a single light fades up on a dark room. And standing in that spotlight is Parker. But then another Parker enters the frame.
It's not real.
You're not.
It's not real.
Oh. Oh. You've outdone yourself this time, Parker. I didn't even think you could. But I guess you did.
What did I do? I don't understand.
What did you do? What did you do?
What did I do? I didn't do anything.
No, you didn't. You didn't do anything except give everything to everyone else while you just withered away until you couldn't take it anymore, right?
No.
All alone, Parker, all alone, Parker. Oh, boo-hoo, my mommy doesn't love me. Oh, I can't live up to her expectations.
Stop!
What's wrong, Parker?
It wasn't my fault. I just wanted her to be my mom.
She's here. I hear her dress.
No. Stop.
I feel the breeze. You feel it? Good. Oh, there it goes. Do you think you'll be alone forever? Do you think that's why you're so sad?
I won't be alone. I won't be alone. I have friends.
You're alone now. I don't see them anywhere. It's just me.
It's not true. People love me. People love me. It's true. I have friends.
You know what the saddest thing is? When you died, nobody came to your funeral. There was nobody there to even plan it. Tragic.
No, I'm dead. No. No, what are you even talking about? It's not true. That didn't happen. Look. And I go to reach out for anything to touch and realize that there's No, it's not true. I don't believe you.
Well, I'm you, so you do believe me. My thoughts are your thoughts.
No, if I died, wouldn't I? I'd remember. I'd remember if I died. Thank you.
It's not how it works. All you do is feel. There's no memories. There's nothing, just the lingering feeling. And you, Parker, we feel alone. So alone.
No, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. And I'll start, Parker will start running in different directions. You're a liar. Look.
Careful. You're exiting the spotlight. How will anyone ever see you?
That's not funny. That's not funny. Look, I'll prove it. And I'll just start, you see Parker just scratching deep into her arms.
And as you do, you see Parker just develop gouges on her arms as they start to bleed, and she just holds them out in front of you, blood dripping down onto the floor in the spotlight.
And as that happens, there are now two spotlights. One where you stand, and one where your doppelganger stands. But you notice that the light above you is starting to go out, and the light above your doppelganger is getting brighter and brighter and brighter.
No.
Until you're in darkness.
No.
And the light overwhelms you. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Danny's need was to be fulfilled by Missy May. As the doppelganger, you, Missy May, can choose the setting.
Is there a dark cave?
There sure is. These are just
Great.
suggestions. So we come up on a dark cave where Danny stands maybe 30 feet away, right where Missy was standing, before she started her approach. But now standing in front of you, Danny, blocking the way to the cave, is another Danny.
This Danny is covered in dirt, and his hair is matted to his head, and when you look at him, you can tell that it's not just dirt that's matted into his hair. It's like dirt and blood and little bits of flesh, and around his mouth and face and down the fronts of his clothes are dried, old, cracked blood. And it looks like it's not just the blood of one creature or person. It's the blood of many. And this Danny feels a little wild, and he's looking at the real Danny, and he's just smiling and pacing.
No.
I am you, Danny.
Well, that just can't be so. No, I don't think so.
I am the darkness. I'm the darkness you tried to leave behind.
No.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't do anything wrong. You know I didn't.
Didn't you, Danny? Didn't you want this? Didn't you want to leave him behind? Didn't you want to feel his death on your hands?
No. Come on. You sound like John Law right now. They got nothing on me. You know.
The other Danny gets a little bit closer, almost like slithering up to him, and like puts his hands on Danny, and he's like, "Do you smell it? Do you smell the blood of your brother? Do you like it?"
Oh, and like, yes, it's overwhelming. It's like filling the air, and Danny is like falls to his knees and is like clutching the dirt and blood-soaked legs of this. Like, no, you're not here. I didn't do anything. You know, my hands were clean, and they're just covered in blood.
You can't run from your darkness, Danny. You can't run from what you did and who you are.
You did this. You did this. And there's only room in this world for one. And Danny grabs the doppelganger by the hair and pulls them down to the floor of the cave and just begins to bash the face into the stone. Like, no, you don't fucking exist. And until the caved in skull is just like grinning back at him. It's like, no.
And we fade out. And then we come back up on Missy May. Missy May's needs were to be met by Parker. So Parker, you choose our final setting.
What were the
as
locations?
Missy May's doppelganger. A stage, a bedroom, a dark forest, a side of the road, an industrial wasteland, a shack, a room that looks like a movie set, a dark room with a single spotlight, or anything that you think is appropriate.
A room that looks like a movie set, and the movie set is going to look like, you know, where soldiers sleep, like a like
Barracks.
like
Barracks.
barracks. Yeah, they're like just lines of iron beds, but it's empty and stark and cold.
Oh, I love it. All right, so we fade up on that ever-present humming sound still going. And maybe Missy, you get up out of one of these beds. They're all bunk beds, we'll say, with like foot lockers at the end. And you know someone is on the bed above you, even though as you look around the room, no one is in any of the other beds. And slowly you lean forward and see yourself.
On your feet, soldier. And you briefly, when she looks up, you see a slight glimpse, but then disappears. And the doppelganger appears at the foot of the bed, standing. And it's Missy, but mechanical, almost like a Terminator version of her that like glitches in and out of existence, like a weird apparition, but is somewhat like more like a technical glitch than like a ghostly in and out situation.
Missy like instinctually jumps up and straightens up and looks at the like immediately starts to salute and then realizes something's not right. That
Did you think you could ever leave this place?
I have
You
left
are.
this place. I'm not stuck here.
Oh, what's this? It looks like Tin Man wants a heart. That's not what you get when you're a killer.
Who said I needed a heart?
It's not what we need. It's what you wanted. Did you think you would ever be able to have anyone love you when you have taken so many lives? Someone who takes so many lives doesn't get to be close to others. Not
No,
in the way you want.
no, that's not true. That's not true. I know that I am not alone. I know that there's someone out there. There's someone out there who understands me.
You know what happens when you get too close to people. That hunger takes over you. You can't resist. You can't help yourself. People like you don't get to have feelings. They don't get to love others. Because you won't let yourself.
I don't need love, I just need understanding.
Oh, understanding. How cute. And what would they understand of you, other than you're a murderer? What else is there to understand of you?
She just looks at this version of herself that's like flickering in and out of existence and seems like a programmed version and just says, I don't need you to tell me who I am or what I need. And then
You're right.
I am right.
I can show you. And the lights just go and come back on, and those walls are smeared with blood just everywhere. And along the walls are shoes. That's how many.
And she looks around. And are there doors here? In this room? Did you trap me in this room?
You trapped yourself here. There is no getting out. You wanted people to see who you were. This is it. You want to let people in? And see this? What would they say of you? What would they think?
Missy looks around at all of the shoes. And then she just starts screaming, and she takes all of the shoes lying in the room, and she starts throwing them at the alternate version of herself. And she's like yelling, and she's like, you don't know what I need. You don't know what I want. And you can't keep me in this room. And she, after she's taken all the shoes and she's thrown them all onto Parker, she takes the gun that she had in her belt pack, and she just starts emptying the entire thing into the doppelganger version of herself, and just putting as many holes into the shoes as she possibly can. And then she's like, I don't care.
That's right. I told you so. You don't care.
And we fade from that moment. Who feels as if their character's needs were met? And what that means may be different for each of you. But if you feel like they were met, put up a hand.
I feel like Parker had a moment with Gem.
Parker. Okay.
I also feel that Danny, to some extent, felt not overt forgiveness, but kinship and camaraderie, and something approaching love with Missy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like Missy got the connection that she was looking for from Danny, surprisingly for her.
I don't know if gems were met. I felt like maybe they were, but I don't know.
So yes, Parker. Yes, Danny. Yes, Missy. Or no, Missy. We're saying
No, I do. Yeah.
you feel like yeah.
I do. Yeah.
But no, Gem.
I don't think so.
Okay. Give me if we just did a quick series of vignettes here. Grant, actually, let's play that opening song that we played last week during the when we were thinking about our characters. I just want to see a visual of these characters at the end of our story, starting with Parker.
Parker is sitting at a coffee shop with a cup of coffee and a slice of pie next to her. And she's wearing no makeup. She's dressed very casually. But for the first time, she has that real smile where you can see it, the eyes are smiling too, and she's not faking it. And she has a quarter in her hand that she's flipping. And she slowly walks over, puts it in the jukebox, plays a song, and starts dancing.
Amazing. Missy.
Missy's at the bar, with Danny, and she seems a little more open than we've seen her in the past. And we even see her doing a little shoulder dance, like really just maybe even connecting to the music just a little.
Danny.
Great. You see Danny hovering over a radio, like, swell, it works. And some music comes on, pulls a coffee pot off the wall and pours 2 cups. And as Missy walks into the kitchen, it's like, good morning. If it isn't my favorite shape in a drape, hey, take care now. The sun is out.
And then we come to Gem, whose needs were not met. And Gem, you find yourself in that same dark room you initially found yourself when you saw an evil version of yourself smiling back at you. It's dark with flowery wallpaper surrounding you and no exits. You are trapped. Describe what happens.
Yeah. And I think I want to say too, in reality, this is the inside of Gem's trailer and it has that wallpaper, but she has also taped newspapers over every source of light in the trailer. So it is pitch black. And now in her like psychosis, it's like, there's no exits. This is the room. And she is in there and she has in their mind finally started the masterpiece, and they are ripping up something, just like ripping shreds out and like pushing it into paper and all of this stuff, and you can't tell what it is because it's so dark, but it's wet. It is like wet, and every time they push into whatever this mound is, it's just like, and and it's like paper mache, unknown, and like plastering on. And in it, you do see other works of art that Gem has done, and you see what probably was Danny in the painting that they wanted to take. And he has his beer kind of out, and it is like moldy almost in this mound. There's also Parker, and it's a sketch that Gem had done of Parker, and they had promised Parker they would sit for a painting, but they never got around to it. But it was the paper that they had given her, and it on one side it's just this sketch of Parker. It's like well done, and Parker's sitting very poised. And then when Gem pushes it on, it's the reverse of that. And on the other side, it's an extremely detailed drawing of Parker's skeleton in the exact same pose that she was sitting in, and pushes it further into the mound. And then there's also the painting against the painting of Missy May, and Gem has just crossed the entire painting of the sun out, like painted it all, and Missy May looked great. And then Gem like ripped the acrylic paint up, and you can see like claw marks into it. And Gem keeps just saying to themselves, I'm in control, 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 and I'm in control, as they plaster more art onto it.
We just hear Gem's voice continue, I'm in control, I'm in control, I'm in control. As we fade from that scene, and that sound comes back, that and in that sound, the waiting room comes back up. But there's no one sitting there waiting anymore. Again, the picture looks a little bit different, like one thing has been moved out of place. And we continue hearing that sound, that static sound, as we move closer to the door, right up to the door, until we move through the door. And on the other side of the door is that sterile room that Missy May saw when she opened it earlier. And she hears that click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, tapping. We hear it now. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. And our eyes turn the corner, and we see a typewriter sitting there, but no one is sitting there typing away. However, behind the typewriter is an even larger room, and the sound of the typewriter fades out, but we still hear that as we enter into a large gallery, an art gallery. And slowly we pan to the left. The first image is that of Danny drinking his beer in the trailer park. It's gorgeous. It looks perfect. We move from there to Missy May at the Roadhouse with the band playing behind. From there, we slowly pan over to Parker, leaning against the glass of the car with the rain coming down, with their eyes closed. And then we pan over and down to see what at first looks like a sculpture, but then you realize it's Gem lying deceased from an overdose. And we keep zooming in on her until we get to the title of the piece, which is called The Sun. And then we hear the Beatles, here comes the sun, do 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 do, here comes the sun, I say, it's all right, dun 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 dun, as the credits play and the story ends. And that is our game of Something Is Wrong Here.
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
That was.
Kidding me?
I didn't know what to expect. I was terrified of this game because I like to plan things and I didn't even have to do anything. I mean, that was really something special. I just for a couple minutes before we wrap up, because we never get to talk about these games. We're just like, all right, thanks for the plan. Then we move on. I just want to for like 2-3 minutes, just talk very briefly about your impressions of this scene or of this thing, like things that stick out in your mind. There's a whole card here on like after questions, but I'm just thinking it all to me started at the beginning with the first words that were spoken. And it was Parker in the waiting room. I wrote it down. You said, have you ever been here before? And like that just set off the entire story to me. And time again, without you even probably noticing you were doing it, you were creating this amazing tapestry of a story that was calling back to other parts. And what really stood out to you guys?
That scene in the diner when you guys were eating the pie and you just kept saying what over and over again.
Was that a box card?
Can I say that was the box card for me, because it kept saying like, you can't hear anybody, keep asking them to repeat themselves. And I was like, this is the most David Lynch, like, wait, but Ross, what was yours?
Coop. Mine was, you realize that you're in a room that is different from the one you were in, that has
perfect,
that has a particular kind of wallpaper and carpeting and stuff. So yeah,
you kept on saying like, this isn't real,
right?
Yes,
and you're like, what? And I'm like, this is the most David Lynch thing ever.
I wrote a note to myself. I was like, if this was a film, the name of the film would be "This Radio's Not Here." That was my favorite. It was just like, that's what a great name for a film. This radio's not here. That living room scene. It was great. I was glad that I did that because I knew it would probably lean towards the comic, and we needed that lightness, which we didn't really have throughout the rest of it. We did at the Roadhouse a little bit, but injecting that there kind of took us out of the depths and brought that lightness. It was an amazing scene. I can't wait to watch that back. Yeah. There was so much good stuff, though.
I gotta say, Noura, I loved your character. Like, it felt...
Thank you.
It was so, like, vivid in my mind when you would describe things that she was doing, and, like, the head on the windshield of the car in the rain, and, like, the way she poised herself. Yeah, it was just, like, she was so glamorous, and it fits so well into this world. I thought you did such a good job.
Thank you.
The romantic relationship also between Missy May and Danny was such a wonderful element to have in this strange world. Like, there were two lost souls that found each other. I believed all of it, even in this insane drama.
Yeah, I was in it.
Yeah,
it was great, and it got sexy. It got some sexiness in these scenes. Like I thought maybe I was pushing this on, but I felt like there was a little element of sexiness in the Gem and Parker scene in the car. It was getting intimate in a way that at least I perceived as I don't know. It was very intense. I was like, this is it. We're watching a David Lynch movie unfold.
Yeah, and also like the mystery of just like, is anybody into each other, or do they all talk to each other like this and get like very quiet and like personal and like whisper in each other's ears? Because that's how a lot of his films play out, and you're kind of like, are they gonna make out or no? But
yeah, the box cards were great because at some point we should show each other the box cards, because there must have been moments like, what is my scene partner doing right now? Oh, it must be a box card.
Yeah, I had one where, can I tell you what one of mine was? So one of mine was in the next scene you're in, at a long moment of confusing silence.
Yes.
Which I thought was a very Lynch thing. Yeah, it was just like, this is so weird and I'm going to run with it. But I was going to say...
go ahead.
Oh, just really quickly, my moment of like when I was like, I am in this game, it set the tone for everything for me, was when Claire said, I don't remember how I got here.
Yes.
And I was like, I know what we're doing. I know what this is now.
Yes. And that was like first scene. That was the first scene. You set the tone.
So good.
Yeah. Mine was go into a monologue and and not pay attention to anybody else. And then when somebody tries to interrupt me, don't listen, just keep going. And then when I stop, change the subject immediately.
I had one of those.
Awesome.
You did? Okay, yeah.
I had that was
There were two
the
we were
head
6
against
and
the
7.
rain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was closing my eyes.
Great.
That was such a gift that kept on giving. That just the beautiful details of Parker's like relationship with her mom were so great.
Yes.
You could just see the cinematic dissolve of like that skirt like spinning.
Slow motion spinning.
So much fodder for the doppelganger moment at the end. Who would have known? But I was like, oh, you set yourself up, Noura.
It was great to just have all those like loaded images from the top to keep like bringing back, and all the moments where like surrealism just kind of invaded it were great fun.
Yeah.
The wolf, like our dreams invading the world. That is really cool and fun. That was really cool.
Yeah, we just kind of used all the nightmares as grist for the mill of this thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the game itself, like in the rules, but when we were at that first scene with the pool, I was like, this might be a cool moment to bring the tsunami image in. And then you started doing it, Ross, and then we all started playing around. The wolves came in. The only thing I didn't get was the floor blade in. I was trying to find a place to wedge the floor blade in.
I mean,
But you brought my dream into it, the cave, the witch's cave.
That was such a Lynchian image. Just the
cool.
idea of a creepy cave. Wow, there's like,
That was
it seems like a fairy tale,
Twin
but
Peaks
it's
Right,
not.
fairy
It
tale
had
logic.
real. Yeah, I finally found the questions to say the most intense experience for you. I mean, I felt like the mirror exercises ended up being way more intense than I was expecting. That first one, especially. And this is
that got dark.
it's hard because you never really look at stuff. You're grooming for the day, and maybe you're like fixing yourself, and that's it. When you're asked to really stare at yourself, even if you're playing a character and dig in, that's a lot. That's a tall task.
Yeah,
you
props
said
to whoever went first in those, like really setting the bar of like, oh, we can really take our time and blow these out and make these really, really, really stylized and intense.
It was just wonderful.
Ross, your descriptions of everything going on, and then like your very, very David Lynch character was just such a freaking joy.
Who wrote the chat? I love Ross Lynch.
Yeah, that was me. I was like, I love it so much.
Just watching it so recently, it's like just how very separate and clear and spaced out dialogue is. It's all just kind of like a gentle sidestep away from natural. It's weird.
Yeah.
What's great though is like as far out as these characters were in the story were, it always felt like it came back to a place that was grounded in reality.
Yeah,
because they all had it all came back to the need. You know, the mother that didn't love them, the war trauma, everything. Like it was the addiction. It was all present. As weird as it got, we all knew that was the undercurrent, and that grounding created something that like I just can't wait to go back and watch this and listen to this. I think it's going to be really special to enjoy over again, not as players. The last thing it says is for everyone to thank their character relationships for helping them create emotions in play. So we should do that as well. I want to thank all of you. Really, this was it's a joy to play something so unique like this with masters of their craft. I think this is not only a dangerous game to play. I think there's real danger there, and that's what makes it exciting. It asks a lot of a role player or an actor to jump in and do something like this, and all four of you just absolutely blew it out of the park. So I want to thank you for trusting me and trusting each other to do this and share this with everyone. This was a truly wonderful experience that I personally feel very moved by. So thank you to Noura Ibrahim, Clare Grant, Sidney Amanuel, Ross Bryant, and our man behind the scenes, Grant, who was killing it with the music cues today. Please, if you enjoyed this and you didn't win, go ahead and buy Something Is Wrong Here and follow all our friends on social media. Follow everything they do. Go watch Wicked Empire. And I'm going to go watch season 3 of Twin Peaks now and just have a nice chess pie.
Oh, I want a chess
lemon
pie.
chess
Yeah.
pie. Oh, that was great. I've been jonesing for sugar. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Just pie.
Sorry for volunteering you, Ross, but I was like, this is.
Oh no, I was
It was.
delighted.
I was like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah. God. Oh, it was so delightful. Y'all are so good.
Thank you guys.
That
Thanks
was
for
fun.
being so fun.
This was a very unique experience, and I had so
Yeah.
much fun doing it.
Yeah.
Telling all my friends.
Tell all your friends.
I'm definitely buying this game.
Me
For
too.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a must buy. Follow at Clare Grant, at Neurological, at Soccer Mom Sid, and at, I'm checking as I go, it's Ross Bryant, right?
Ross Bryant on Twitter, Ross BB on Instagram. Yeah.
Russ BB on Instagram. Thank you all. Please come back. I want to play with you again. Maybe I'll fire Jared and I'll run Wicked Empire. I'll give Jared my scrubs. No, I love him. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week with the One Ring to rule them all.